The first needle pierced Paloma Faith's abdomen in October 2016. It was a cold London morning, lead-gray sky, pale light seeping through the windows. The private clinic on Harley Street was silent, the air thick with antiseptic and a kind of hopelessness. Paloma waited in the lounge, knees pressed together, hands slick with sweat. She was 35, at the peak of her career, a singer with millions. But in that clinic, that morning, she was only a woman who couldn't get pregnant. For 2 years, she and her partner Leander had been trying, naturally. Every month was the same script: start hopeful, count the days, take the test, see the negative line, cry, pull yourself together, begin again. 24 times she lived that cycle. 24 times she failed. The doctors said she couldn't waste any more time. After 35, the odds of natural pregnancy dropped. IVF was the only way out. IVF, that cold, clinical term. Paloma spent hours online. She read success rates, studied side effects, consumed strangers' stories on women's forums. Some women succeeded on the first try, some on the third, some never did. One message burned itself into her mind. I've done 10 cycles and I still don't have a baby. 10 cycles, 10 times hoping, 10 times shattering. Could she do that? At the first consultation, the doctor explained the process. Hormone treatment would begin. Daily injections, blood tests, ultrasound monitoring. The eggs would mature, be retrieved, combined with sperm, embryos would form, the best would be selected, transferred into the uterus, and then waiting. 2 weeks, 14 days. 14 days just to learn whether she was pregnant or not. This process can be emotionally challenging, the doctor said. I recommend getting support. Paloma nodded, but inside she almost laughed. Emotionally challenging, like a math problem to solve. As if feelings were something you could control, manage, contain. But Paloma already knew. This would tear her apart. She could feel it, deep in her bones. She gave herself the first hormone injection. At home, in the bathroom, staring into the mirror. She pushed the needle into her belly and pressed the plunger slowly. It hurt. The physical pain was less than she expected, but the pain inside went much deeper, because that needle was forcing her body to do what it couldn't do on its own. That needle was an admission of failure. For 14 mornings, she injected herself. Her stomach turned into a map of bruises. Hormones took over her body. Bloating, headaches, nausea, mood swings. One day she cried, the next she was furious, the next she felt completely numb. Leander didn't know what to do. "Do you need anything?" he kept asking. "How can I help?" But Paloma couldn't answer, because what she needed was simple. She needed to get pregnant, and no one could help her with that. Then came egg retrieval day, a procedure done under anesthesia. Paloma was sweating as she walked into the operating room. A nurse held her hand. "Everything will be fine," she said. Paloma wanted to believe her, but she couldn't. As the anesthesia took hold, her last thought was, what if this doesn't work? When she woke up, she was in pain. Her abdomen cramped, her head spun. The doctor came in with the results. They had retrieved 12 eggs, a good number. They would be fertilized. They would call in 3 days with an update. Paloma went home, lay in bed, and waited. 3 days, 72 hours, 4,320 minutes. Every second was torture. When the phone rang, her heart nearly stopped. It was the doctor's assistant. Out of 12 eggs, 8 fertilized, 5 developed into embryos, 3 are good enough quality for transfer. It was good news, but Paloma couldn't feel happy because the real test still hadn't come. Embryo transfer, then waiting, then the pregnancy test. The road was still long. Transfer day came in the first week of November. The clinic was quiet again, smelled the same way again. Paloma lay on the table, legs raised, everything so clinical, so sterile. The doctor showed the embryo on the screen. "It looks beautiful," he said. Grade A. Paloma stared at the screen, a tiny cluster of cells. This would become a baby? This would be her child? It was hard to believe. The embryo was placed. The procedure took 5 minutes. Now, bed rest, the doctor said. You'll wait 2 weeks. On day 14, we'll do a blood test. 2 weeks. 14 days. Paloma went home, got into bed, and didn't move. That's what she'd read, that you had to stay still so the embryo could implant. Leander brought food, brought water, brought everything. Paloma just lay there and waited for that tiny cluster of cells inside her to grow. As the days passed, she started to lose her mind. She spent hours on Google. Symptoms after embryo transfer, early pregnancy signs, IVF success stories. Every article either inflated her hope or destroyed it. Some women felt nausea on day 3. Did Paloma feel nausea, or was it the hormones? Some women had light cramps. Paloma had cramps too. Was that good or bad? On day 9, she couldn't stand it. She took a home pregnancy test, even though she knew it was too early. She set it on the bathroom counter and waited. 3 minutes. Negative. Her heart cracked, but she told herself, it's still early. Maybe tomorrow it'll be positive. On day 11, she tested again. Negative. On day 13, again. Negative. On day 14, she went to the clinic, blood test. She waited 1 hour. The phone rang. The assistant's voice, professional, controlled. I'm sorry, your beta HCG is negative. You're not pregnant. Paloma hung up. She felt nothing. Numb. Frozen. Leander asked, what did they say? Paloma couldn't answer. She just shook her head. Leander hugged her. We'll try again, he said. Next time it will work. But Paloma knew what try again meant. It meant the same process all over. Injections, hormones, waiting, disappointment. The first failure cost £50,000. Not just money, 3 months of time, countless needles, a flood of tears, and the first step deeper into hopelessness. They took 3 months off before the second try. During that time, Paloma went on tour. She performed, she sang, she smiled. But before every concert, she was in a bathroom injecting hormones into her stomach. Fans didn't know. The press didn't know. Everyone saw her on stage and assumed she was strong and shining. In reality, she was breaking. The second IVF cycle began in early 2017. Same process, same injections, same hormones. But this time her body reacted worse. More swelling, more pain, more mood swings. One night she screamed at Leander for no reason. "You don't understand me," she shouted. "No one understands." Leander listened in silence, then left the room. Paloma sat alone on the edge of the bed and cried for hours. This time, they retrieved 14 eggs, 9 embryos formed. Transfer, 2-week wait, test day. Negative. Second failure. Another £50,000. Total, £100,000. 6 months, dozens of injections, and an even deeper collapse. That day, Paloma came home, went straight to the bedroom, shut the door, and lay down on the floor, curled into a child's position on the carpet. She couldn't breathe. Her chest tightened. A panic attack. Leander opened the door, found her, wrapped his arms around her. "Breathe," he said. "Just breathe." But Paloma couldn't, because something inside her had died. Hope had died. They waited 6 months before the third attempt. Paloma started seeing a psychologist. The therapist asked, "Why do you want to be a mother so badly?" Paloma thought about it. Why? Social pressure? A biological clock? Or did she truly want a baby? She didn't know, but she knew this. Not having a baby created a huge emptiness inside her, and she was ready to do anything to fill it. The third IVF cycle happened in early 2018. This time, they tried a different protocol, higher hormone doses, more aggressive treatment. Paloma's body rebelled. She swelled severely, struggled to breathe, and was hospitalized. OSSS, ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome.
Her ovaries had been overstimulated. Fluid had built up in her body. She spent 3 days in the hospital, monitored, treated with IV fluids. But the process continued. Eggs were retrieved, embryos formed, transfer. This time, Paloma made herself a promise. I won't take a home test until test day. I won't go crazy. And she kept her promise. 14 days, no tests. She went to the clinic, gave blood, waited for the result. Positive. Was she pregnant? Really? The assistant double-checked. Yes, you're pregnant. Your beta-HCG is low, but positive. Paloma cried when she hung up, but this time they were tears of joy. She called Leander. It worked, she said. This time it worked. Leander cried too. They went for the first ultrasound at 6 weeks. The doctor performed a vaginal scan, studied the screen, stayed quiet. Paloma's heart began to race. What is it? She asked. I see a gestational sac, the doctor said, but the embryo isn't clearly visible yet. Sometimes that's normal for this week. Let's come back in 2 weeks. 2 more weeks of waiting. At 8 weeks, they returned. The probe again, the screen again, the silence again. But this time, the silence lasted longer. Paloma already knew. She felt it. There's no baby, is there? She said. The doctor turned his head. I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. Development has stopped. This is a missed miscarriage. A missed miscarriage. The baby was gone, but her body hadn't realized it yet. Paloma still felt pregnant, nausea, tender breasts, while carrying a lifeless pregnancy inside her. A D&C was necessary. Surgery was scheduled. Paloma went into the operating room numb, emotionally shattered. Anesthesia, sleep, wake up, and it was over. The baby was gone. The pregnancy was gone. The hope was gone. Third attempt, 50,000 pounds. Total, 150,000 pounds. 9 months, 1 lost baby, and now trauma. For 3 months, Paloma did nothing. She shut down social media, stopped answering calls, stopped performing. She stayed home, slept, woke up, lay down again. She sank into depression. A doctor suggested antidepressants, but she refused. I want to feel, she said. I want to feel the pain. Leander forced her to go on walks. They walked silently in the park. Paloma saw strollers, children on playgrounds, pregnant women. Each one felt like a knife. When they got home, Paloma said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it again. Leander held her hand. He said, it's your decision. Whatever you want, we'll do. But 3 months later, Paloma was back in the doctor's office. Because she couldn't give up. She couldn't let go. Maybe it had become an obsession, but she wanted that baby. She wanted to fill that emptiness. The 4th attempt happened in 2019. This time, they added genetic screening. Embryos were created, biopsied, analyzed in a lab. Healthy embryos were selected. Transfer. 14-day wait. Test. Positive. This time, Paloma didn't celebrate. She only accepted it. Okay, she said, now we'll see what happens. She went to ultrasounds. She saw a heartbeat. Week 8 passed, week 9, week 10, then week 11. She was on the set of Pennyworth. During filming, cramps started. She ran to the bathroom and saw blood. She was miscarrying. But she told no one. She finished the shoot, went home, went to the hospital. The doctor confirmed it. The baby was gone. 4th attempt, 50,000 pounds. Total, 200,000 pounds. Another year. Another lost baby. And now, psychological ruin. After that miscarriage, Paloma cried every night for a month. Leander held her, tried to calm her, but there was nothing to be done. The pain was too deep, too raw, too real. Why? Paloma asked. Why can't I? Every woman I see on the street can be a mother. Why can't I? The fifth attempt happened in 2020, at the start of the pandemic. The world was shutting down, but Paloma's process didn't stop. Clinics were open, treatment continued. This time, the embryo didn't even implant. Transfer happened, but beta-HCG never rose. She wasn't pregnant at all. Fifth failure, 50,000 pounds. Total, 200,000 pounds. 18 months, 0 baby.
Paloma stopped talking. She sat silently at home, staring at the walls. Leander was frightened. "You need professional help," he said. Paloma agreed. Psychiatrist visits began. Medications began. Sleeping pills, antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills. 4 pills a day. They waited a full year before the 6th attempt. Paloma rebuilt herself, mentally stronger, physically prepared. "One last time," she said. "One last attempt. If it doesn't work, I'll consider adoption, or maybe I'll accept that I'll never have children." In late 2021, the 6th IVF cycle began. Everything felt final. The last injections, the last hormones, the last retrieval, the last transfer. Paloma felt nothing anymore. She was numb. She had become a robot. She waited 14 days. She didn't take a home test. She went to the clinic, gave blood, came home. The phone rang. "You're pregnant." Paloma dropped the phone. Leander picked it up, heard the news, pulled her into his arms, but Paloma still couldn't feel it. "I don't believe it," she said. "I don't want to believe it, because if I believe it and I lose it, this time I'll die." But the pregnancy continued. Week 6, there was a heartbeat. Week 8, the baby was growing. Week 12, first trimester complete. Week 16, they learned the sex, a girl. Week 20, anatomy scan was normal. Week 24, the baby was kicking. After every ultrasound, Paloma felt grateful, but the fear never left. For 9 months, she lived in fear every day. And then the baby arrived. In 2022, a healthy, strong baby girl. In the delivery room, when Paloma finally held her, she cried, really cried. A 6-year war had ended. 6 cycles, 5 failures, 2 lost babies, 300,000 pounds, countless tears. But the baby was in her arms. "Was it worth it?" the nurse asked, smiling. Paloma looked at the baby, at the tiny face, the miniature fingers. "I don't know," she said honestly. "I still don't know, because what I lost is enormous. But I couldn't stop anymore, because she's my daughter, and for her, everything was worth it." 6th attempt, 50,000 pounds. Total, 300,000 pounds. 6 years, and finally, a baby. From that day on, Paloma Faith never romanticized IVF. She posted on social media, "IVF isn't a miracle, it's torture. But sometimes torture ends with a miracle, and it doesn't save you. It only gives your pain a meaning." Tens of thousands of women shared their own stories in the comments. "I gave up after 3 cycles. I did 7 cycles, and I still don't have a baby. I adopted. It was the best decision of my life." Every story was different, but the pain was the same. Paloma is a mother now, but the IVF trauma never disappeared. The smell of a clinic still triggers panic. Seeing pregnant women still pulls her back to those years. She still dreams of the babies she lost. Because IVF is not just a medical procedure, it's a war with your body, your fate, your God. And even if you win, your losses remain forever.